We're gonna make Italian beef. This is a classic Italian-American Chicago sandwich. It's slow-cooked, juicy beef with spicy pickled vegetable.
Life can be a struggle, but a good meal doesn't have to be. We can make creative, nutritious, and inventive dishes that won't break the bank. We'll eat well and save money, because that's what we do. Welcome to Struggle Meals.
I'm gonna start with chuck roast. This is an affordable cut of meat with a ton of flavor. It also has a lot of fat, which makes it perfect to braise. First, we're gonna get a nice sear on here and start developing flavor. So, we got our Dutch oven here. We're gonna get it nice and hot. Let's aggressively salt and pepper each side. This looks good. I'm gonna come in with some neutral oil here, and a fair bit of it. Meat goes in. Don't mess with it too much. Let that crust develop. I'm gonna go wash my hands. I'm gonna take a look. If it has a little wiggle, it's usually a good sign, because that means it's no longer stuck to the pan. And that's looking really nice. Let's cook another side. One of the most important steps in flavor building is getting the brown on that meat, because brown is flavor. All right, next side. We sear this on all sides, and then we're gonna braise it, which means we need a flavorful liquid. So let's start working on that while this is happening. We've got an onion here, and then we'll just get some slices of onion. We got some garlic here. Let's give it a little boop. All right, so let's take a look at our beef again. We've seared it on all sides. It's not cooked through, so I can use the same plate as before, and that's good because that just cuts down on dishes. Now we're gonna start building the flavorful broth that will braise the meat in. We're gonna start with these onions. These onions will sweeten up, be delicious. Oh, I smell it already. I'm throwing in my garlic. Give this a little stir. This is a really great start, but we can add even more flavor. Let's head to the package drawer for some red pepper flakes. Red pepper coming in. We're gonna add some garlic powder, dried oregano. So adding this not only adds flavor, but it really touches on that nostalgia. That is the Italian-American cuisine. Let's stir this up. Let's hit our onions with a little bit of salt. You can really smell all the dried spices that we put in here. It's hitting a chord with me. All right, so that's looking nice. The onions have absorbed a lot of the flavor that the beef rendered out. We've woken up our spices. Let's make this broth happen. The most affordable way to make this broth is by using bouillon cubes. 1, 2. Let's turn that bouillon into broth by adding water. Drop the water! I paid $799 for a weekend pass for that. Now that we've got a super flavorful liquid, I think we can add even more fresh aromatics. Let's head over to the herb garden where I paid for these herbs once and they keep giving me dividends. Some fresh thyme is gonna go really well with our beefy flavor. It's also gonna be awesome in making our broth taste extra special. So I got my thyme sprigs. I'm just gonna put that right in there. Let's get the beef in the flavorful broth. Here we go. You can see the beef is sticking out the top of the liquid. This is exactly what we want. If it's completely submerged, you're actually poaching, and it's not gonna yield the same texture. Make sure you can see the top of the iceberg. Let's bring this to a simmer. I'm gonna shut off the heat. We're gonna cover this, and this is gonna go in the oven and finish cooking. 325, a pretty low temperature, for 2.5 to 3 hours. It's gonna be low and slow, but that's what's gonna make all that tough fat melt. This sandwich has green bell peppers that are sauteed, so let's do that. We're just gonna cut some thin strips. We're gonna put a little bit of oil in the pan, just a little bit. Get our peppers in there. We'll hit these peppers with a little salt. So I'm gonna saute down these peppers until they get soft and shrink a little. In the meantime, let's grab our beef. Let's get our beef out of the pan. You can see it is really allowed a lot of juice to come out. We're gonna use 2 Struggle Whisk 7500s, and you're gonna see how tender our beef is. You can't achieve this with just searing. It needs to be a multi-hour braise. That looks great. This is the perfect amount of shred for me. I still wanna feel the texture. That super flavorful braising liquid is gonna become our dipping sauce. We just grab a little strainer here, we get a ladle, and we come in and just get that broth. All right, we've got all our components ready. We got our rolls, we got our braised beef, we've got our sauteed peppers, and we've got our giardiniera, which is basically a spicy pickled cauliflower with some other veggies. This cuts through the richness. It's fundamental. Let's assemble our sandwiches. Get a little bit of color. And some of the giardiniera. This smells amazing. I got my sandwich, I got my dipping broth. This looks fantastic. We got this juicy beef and then all the colorful vegetables on top, and it's only $2.19 a serving. And I can't wait to dig in. It's clear why Chicago loves this. Salty, fatty, juicy beef. Sharp, bright, colorful vegetables. On a sandwich with a dipping sauce. I don't think you could get any more flavor on a bun for this price anywhere.